You don't belong here.
Are you sure about that?
I decide who enters.
Not anymore.
The line outside Velvet stretched halfway around the block, packed with models, athletes, influencers, music executives, and wealthy socialites determined to be seen inside the most exclusive nightclub in downtown Chicago. Black luxury vehicles rolled continuously beneath the glowing red canopy. Camera flashes exploded beside the velvet ropes. Bass from the upper floors pulsed through the pavement like a second heartbeat, while a cold November wind swept between the glass towers surrounding the club. At the center of it all stood Derek Cole. Tall, broad-shouldered, and dressed in a tailored black suit, Derek carried himself like the building belonged to him. His beard was trimmed sharply, his designer watch gleamed whenever he checked the guest list, and a silver earpiece curled behind his right ear. As Velvet's lead door manager, he controlled who entered, who waited, and who suffered the embarrassment of being turned away. He enjoyed that power far more than he should have. When Maya Bennett stepped out of a black sedan, Derek's expression changed immediately. For one brief second, surprise cracked through his confidence. Then he smiled. It was not a warm smile. It was the same smug, dismissive smile Maya remembered from the final months of their relationship. Maya stood beneath the canopy wearing a fitted ivory pantsuit, a soft bronze blouse, and simple gold earrings. Her long dark hair fell in smooth waves over her shoulders. She carried no designer handbag and wore no loud jewelry. Nothing about her demanded attention, yet people in the line slowly began watching her. She possessed the kind of calm that made noise feel unnecessary. Derek looked her up and down. "Well, this is unexpected," he said loudly. Maya approached the velvet rope. "Good evening, Derek. You still know my name. I'm touched." Several people nearby laughed. Derek glanced toward the line, making certain he had an audience before continuing. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "This isn't exactly your kind of place." Maya's expression remained pleasant. "And what kind of place is that?" "The expensive kind." More laughter followed. A young woman with a live stream open on her phone turned the camera toward them. Two influencers whispered behind their hands. A professional basketball player near the front of the line watched with uncomfortable curiosity. Derek noticed every reaction. It fed him. 3 years earlier, Maya had loved him. They had met when she was 27, working long hours as a commercial real estate analyst while helping her widowed mother cover medical bills. Derek had been charming then, ambitious, protective, and full of promises. He said they would build a life together. But when Maya's mother became ill and Maya's finances tightened, Derek's affection became conditional. He complained that she dressed too plainly. He mocked her old car. He resented the evenings she spent studying investment reports instead of attending parties with him. Eventually, he left her for a social media personality named Brielle, telling Maya she lacked the confidence and social standing required to fit into his future. "You're a good woman," Derek had said during their breakup, "but good doesn't mean successful." Maya never forgot those words. She also never allowed them to define her. Now Derek rested one hand on the velvet rope and leaned toward her. "Did you come here because you heard I was working tonight?" he asked. "No." "Still trying to prove you're doing well?" "No." "Then why are you recording me?" Maya glanced at the phone held loosely in her right hand. The camera was pointed toward Derek, its red recording light clearly visible. "I'm documenting the condition of the entrance," she replied. Derek laughed. "The condition of the entrance? Is that what we're calling stalking now?" A few people gasped. Maya looked directly into his eyes. "Be careful, Derek." "Or what?" She lowered the phone slightly. "Kindness costs nothing. Humiliation usually costs more than people expect." The laughter faded. Derek's jaw tightened. He had hoped she would become emotional. He wanted anger, tears, or desperation, anything that would prove he still had power over her. Instead, her composure made him feel exposed. He picked up his tablet and pretended to search the guest list. "Maya Bennett," he announced. "No reservation. I didn't say I had one. No membership. I don't need one. No celebrity host requesting your presence. Correct." Derek tilted the tablet toward her. "Then you're not entering." Maya glanced at the enormous glass doors behind him. Above them, the velvet logo glowed in red letters against polished black stone. "That is an interesting decision," she said. "It's my decision." A second doorman named Marcus shifted uneasily beside him. Marcus was younger, with thoughtful brown eyes and a nervous habit of adjusting his tie whenever Derek became cruel. "Maybe we should verify with management," Marcus suggested. Derek turned sharply. "I am management. You're the door manager," Marcus replied quietly. Derek's eyes narrowed. The distinction irritated him. He returned his attention to Maya. "Listen," he said, lowering his voice just enough to make the cruelty feel personal. "Whatever fantasy brought you here, let it go. We broke up 3 years ago. I moved forward. You clearly didn't." Maya stared at him for a long moment. Behind her calm eyes lived memories Derek could not see. He did not know about the nights she slept 4 hours, because she was studying distressed property portfolios. He did not know she had used her final savings to invest in a neglected warehouse that later became a technology hub. He did not know she had built Bennett Urban Holdings from a rented desk inside a shared office. He did not know that her first major deal had nearly collapsed 3 times. He did not know that she had failed, recovered, negotiated, and sacrificed until investors began requesting meetings with her instead of rejecting her calls. Most importantly, he did not know what she had signed that morning. "Moving forward does not always look dramatic," Maya said. "Sometimes it looks like silence," Derek scoffed. "Silence? Is that what you call disappearing? I was working. On what? Another little office job?" A middle-aged man standing several feet behind Derek looked up from a leather folder. His name was Jonathan Pierce, Chief Legal Counsel for Bennett Urban Holdings. Beside him stood Elaine Carter, a silver-haired hospitality executive known throughout the city for transforming failing luxury properties into profitable cultural landmarks. They had arrived with 2 attorneys, a financial director, and the building's former owner. Derek had not noticed them. They were standing just beyond his peripheral vision, quietly observing everything. Maya noticed them. She gave no indication. Derek continued. "Do yourself a favor," he said. "Go home before this gets more embarrassing." Maya's voice softened. "For whom?" The question unsettled him. He reached toward his radio. "Security, I need assistance at the main entrance." Marcus stepped closer. "She hasn't done anything. She's disrupting the line." "I'm standing quietly," Maya said. "You're refusing to leave private property." Maya looked at the building behind him again. "Private property?" she repeated. 2 security guards emerged through the glass doors. Both men slowed when they recognized Maya from a management briefing earlier that afternoon, but Derek raised his hand before they could speak. "Remove her from the sidewalk," he ordered. One guard, Anthony, frowned. "Mr. Cole, now." Anthony looked toward Elaine Carter, who stood near the edge of the canopy. Elaine gave him a small signal to wait. The line had become completely silent. Even the influencers had stopped posing. Phones rose throughout the crowd. Derek mistook the silence for support. He stepped closer to Maya, lowering his voice. "You always wanted people to take you seriously," he said. "But look at you, standing outside a place you can't even get into." Maya inhaled slowly. Pain touched her expression, but only for a moment. Not because Derek's words were true, because she remembered once believing his opinion mattered. She remembered shrinking herself to make him comfortable. She remembered apologizing for her ambition and hiding good news so he would not feel threatened. That version of Maya had disappeared. She had not become colder. She had become clearer. A motivational speaker she admired once said, "You do not have to become cruel to become powerful." Maya had carried that sentence through every difficult negotiation. She would carry it now. She lifted her phone again. "Derek, I'm going to ask you one final question," she said. "Are you refusing me entry based on official club policy?" Derek straightened his jacket. "Yes. And you are requesting that security remove me?" "Yes. Despite the fact that I have remained calm, made no threats, and caused no disturbance?" Derek glanced at the cameras surrounding them. His ego would not allow retreat. "Correct." Maya stopped recording. "Thank you." Derek smiled triumphantly. "You heard her. Take her away." "That will not be necessary." Elaine Carter's voice cut through the cold night air. Derek turned. His confidence weakened when he recognized her. Elaine stepped forward in a charcoal coat, polished leather gloves, and pearl earrings. Her posture was elegant, but her expression was severe. "Ms. Carter, Derek said quickly. I didn't know you were visiting tonight. That is obvious. Derek forced a laugh. We're handling a situation. Yes, Elaine replied. I watched you create one. Jonathan Pierce joined her and opened the leather folder. The former owner of Velvet stood behind them, visibly uncomfortable. Derek looked from one face to another. What is this? Elaine turned toward the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the delay. You have witnessed conduct that does not represent the future standards of this establishment. Derek's face tightened. The future standards? Jonathan removed several documents from the folder. At 9:15 this morning, he announced, the acquisition of this property, including the nightclub, rooftop lounge, commercial kitchen, private event floors, and adjacent parking structure, was completed. Whispers raced through the line. Derek stared at the paperwork. The building was sold? Yes, Jonathan said. To whom? Jonathan turned toward Maya. To Bennett Urban Holdings. Derek's eyes moved slowly toward her. Maya stood in the same place, her ivory suit glowing beneath the red lights. For the first time that evening, Derek had nothing to say. Elaine continued. The acquisition was financed and finalized by the firm's founder, chief executive, and sole principal investor. She gestured toward Maya. Ms. Maya Bennett. The entrance erupted with shocked voices. Phones moved closer. The young live streamer covered her mouth. Marcus stared at Maya with wide eyes. Derek's face drained of color. No, he whispered. Jonathan held up the deed. Yes. Derek looked at Maya, as though she had become a different person in front of him, but she had not changed in that moment. His understanding had. You bought the club? He asked. Maya's gaze remained steady. I bought the building. The whole building? The entire property. Derek glanced up at the 20-story structure towering above him. His authority suddenly appeared painfully small. Maya stepped beneath the canopy. This time no one blocked her path. Derek swallowed. I didn't know. I'm aware. If you had told me, would you have treated me with respect? He hesitated. Maya nodded slowly. That is the problem. The crowd became quiet again. Maya walked toward the velvet rope, but did not cross it. This entrance taught me something tonight, she said. Hospitality should make people feel welcomed, safe, and valued. It should never become a weapon used to embarrass people who appear less powerful. Derek's breathing quickened. Maya, this was personal. I lost my temper. No, she said. This was professional misconduct, made visible by personal history. Jonathan handed her a second folder. Maya opened it. The previous ownership received 12 complaints concerning your behavior. She continued. 4 involved discriminatory guest treatment. 3 involved intimidation of junior staff. 2 involved unauthorized demands for payment. The remaining complaints described public humiliation similar to what occurred tonight. Derek looked toward the former owner. You kept complaints on me? The man lowered his eyes. Maya continued. Your conduct was already under review as part of our acquisition. Derek's voice became desperate. People complain about door staff all the time. We have to maintain standards. Standards are not excuses for cruelty. I made this club exclusive. You made people afraid of being embarrassed. That's how places like this work. Not anymore. Maya turned toward Marcus. Mr. Reynolds, please remove Mr. Cole's building credentials. Marcus froze. Derek stared at him. Don't touch my badge. Marcus looked toward Maya. She nodded once. With trembling hands, Marcus approached Derek and removed the silver access card clipped to his jacket. Derek stepped backward. You can't fire me over one misunderstanding. Elaine handed him a termination notice. Your contract is terminated effective immediately. Derek looked at the paper, but did not take it. This is revenge. Maya's eyes reflected sadness rather than satisfaction. Revenge would be humiliating you because I can. Accountability is removing you because your conduct harms people. The words struck harder than shouting could have. For viewers who have ever been underestimated, judged by appearances, or made to feel small, remember this moment. Your current position is not your final destination. Keep building, keep learning, and let your discipline introduce you when the time comes. Derek glanced toward the crowd. The same people who had laughed at Maya were now recording his downfall. His shoulders lowered. He finally understood how public shame felt. Maya saw the realization on his face. She did not smile. Turn off the cameras, she told the crowd. Several people hesitated. Maya raised her voice. Please, he has been held accountable. We do not need to destroy him for entertainment. One by one, the phones lowered. Even the live streamer ended her broadcast. Derek looked at Maya, stunned. Why would you do that? Because kindness is not weakness, she replied. It is strength with self-control. Anthony and the second security guard approached. Derek removed his earpiece slowly. The music continued pounding inside the club, but outside, the moment felt almost painfully still. He handed the device to Marcus. Maya, he said quietly, I was wrong about you. Maya looked at him. You were wrong to believe anyone deserved less respect because of what you thought they owned. The guards escorted him beyond the velvet ropes. He walked past the influencers, athletes, and socialites he had once enjoyed judging. His expensive shoes struck the pavement without confidence. When he reached the end of the canopy, he paused and looked back at the building. For years, he had acted as though he controlled it. Now he understood he had only been standing at the door. Maya entered the lobby with Elaine, Jonathan, and the executive team. Inside, velvet was breathtaking. Crystal fixtures floated above a sweeping staircase. Black marble floors reflected walls of gold light. A giant sculptural chandelier descended through 3 levels of open space, while waiters carried silver trays between guests dressed in couture. Yet Maya did not see only luxury. She saw potential. Within 6 months, Velvet became the Haven, a reimagined entertainment and hospitality venue built around elegance without humiliation. The intimidating velvet ropes disappeared. Door staff received training in conflict resolution, accessibility, cultural awareness, and professional hospitality. Guest policies became transparent. Entry decisions required clear reasons instead of personal judgment. Maya created scholarship-funded internships for young people interested in hospitality management, music production. She also converted the building's unused 4th floor into a business center where local entrepreneurs could attend free financial literacy classes and receive mentorship from established investors. Marcus became director of guest experience after proving that dignity mattered to him, even when speaking up could have cost him his job. Anthony became head of security. Elaine managed the venue's transformation, and Maya's mother, now healthier and proudly walking with a polished wooden cane, attended the grand reopening. She stood beside Maya beneath a new bronze sign inside the entrance. It read, "Every person who enters deserves dignity. Every person who leaves should carry hope." Maya's mother squeezed her hand. "You built something beautiful." "We built it," Maya replied. Her mother smiled. "Your father would be proud." Maya looked across the crowded lobby. People from different neighborhoods, professions, and backgrounds filled the building. Some wore designer gowns. Others wore simple jackets. No one was mocked for arriving in an older car. No one was forced to beg for basic respect. The building was profitable, but its greatest value could not be measured on a financial statement. It had become proof that success did not require becoming like the people who once wounded you. A year after the acquisition, Maya received a handwritten letter. It was from Derek. He explained that after losing his job, he had spent months blaming everyone else. Eventually, he began therapy and accepted a position at a small hotel, starting at the front desk. The experience humbled him. He wrote that he was learning to serve people instead of ranking them. At the end of the letter, he included one sentence: "You did not ruin my life. You forced me to look at it." Maya folded the letter and placed it inside her desk. She did not call him. She did not need another confrontation or dramatic reunion. Forgiveness did not always mean reopening a door. Sometimes it meant closing the door without hatred and continuing toward the life waiting ahead. That evening, Maya stepped onto the Haven's rooftop. Chicago spread beneath her in rivers of light. The wind moved gently through her hair as music drifted from the floors below. Elaine joined her. "Do you ever think about that first night?" Elaine asked. "Sometimes. You could have told Derek who you were immediately." Maya looked toward the skyline. "I wanted to see how he treated someone he believed had no power. And now? Now I know exactly what kind of company I want to build." Elaine raised her glass. "To quiet victories." Maya smiled and touched her glass against Elaine's. "To meaningful ones." Below them, The building glowed with new life. Maya had once stood outside its doors, while someone tried to convince her she did not belong. Now she owned the foundation beneath those doors, the floors above them, and the vision guiding everyone inside. But the greatest triumph was not the deed, the money, or the public reversal. It was that she had remained herself. She had answered cruelty with standards. She had answered rejection with discipline. She had answered humiliation with purpose. And she had proven that building success in silence was not weakness, it was preparation. So when someone laughs at your beginning, do not waste your strength trying to explain your destination. Work quietly. Learn patiently. Treat people kindly. Protect your dignity. Your results will eventually speak in rooms where your name was once treated like a joke. And when your opportunity finally arrives, do not use your power to become another bully standing at the door. Use it to hold the door open for someone else. Because true success is not measured by how many people you can look down upon. It is measured by how many people can rise because you chose to look back and help. If Maya's journey inspired you, share this story with someone who is rebuilding their confidence after rejection. Subscribe for more powerful stories about courage, dignity, kindness, and the quiet victories that change lives. Never forget, the people who underestimate you are often judging a chapter without knowing you are writing the entire book. Keep writing. Your best chapter may be closer than you think.